All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dr. Lamise Jarvinen, and I am the director for the Center for Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity, otherwise known as CURCA. And I want to thank you all for being here today. I especially want to thank Jennifer for being here. She is representing the Career Center, and I'm very grateful to her willingness to come and talk to us about, what does the world look like in the COVID era in terms of, finding jobs, locating employers, how do you present yourself? And so I'm very, very grateful to have Jennifer here. And as usual, these CURCA Lunch and Learns they're informal conversations. They're intended to be kind of an incubator space for various disciplines and students, faculty, and staff to come together and have conversations that are relevant to student success. So we're very excited to have you here. I always love to kind of know who's on, and I guess if you can tell us a little bit about who you are, maybe what year you are, and what department or discipline or your major, that would be great. I will introduce one other person. Tom Howard is my CURCA graduate assistant, and Tom is also an alum of Westfield State. So that's it. And do you mind if I start with actually Tom Convery? I don't know that we know each other, so.
I work in the alumni office, and I do a bunch of other stuff around the campus. I want to say hi to my buddy Erica Burton there, who I just see her face smiling. I miss you.
Hi.
I'm class of 78. I have a history degree like Tommy Howard, and I have a teaching degree. And I'm involved in a lot of stuff on campus.
Well, we're very happy to have you joining us today. Thank you. And I guess, Erica, if you want to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah, I was just having trouble connecting. I think my computer was just like glitching out. But I'm Erica. I am a senior, and I study environmental science with a minor in wetlands management and assessment. And I am looking for an internship in the spring for my senior year, I guess. And so I'm only going to be taking 2 classes, and I've used the Career Center. I've had like meetings with Giselle, I think, and she's been really helpful finding searching for an internship. But I'm just getting nervous that I'm not like applying soon enough, or that I'm not going to get one, and then I'm not going to have enough credits and stuff. So just trying to figure that out.
And I'm sure that Jennifer will provide a lot of insight. So, and I think that she would love it if students could speak personally to some of the, some of the challenges that they may be facing, or ways that they want to, move on with their future. So I know that she'd be happy to address those. And then Wyatt.
My name's Wyatt. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a movement science student.
Thank you. Carly?
Hi.
Hi, Carly.
Carly. I'm a junior, and I'm in the movement science program here with a concentration in sports medicine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Nice to have you. Amanda?
Hi, I'm a senior. I'm a movement science major and a sports medicine concentration, and I just added a minor in psych last year, actually, very last minute, because I had all the requirements. And that kind of leaded me more towards occupational therapy for grad school. So I'm looking into that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I was thinking about internships, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be able to manage with grad school yet. And if I was going to take a semester off, because I didn't really want to start grad school doing online, but we'll see where it takes me.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Thank you. Katie? Katie Prince?
Hi, sorry. I thought my mic was unmuted, but it wasn't. I am a senior at the, in the movement science department with a sports med concentration. And I was just interested to see about like internships. I'm not really sure what I'll do.
Yeah. Thank you. Beverly?
Hi, I'm Beverly. I'm a major in biology, a minor in chem, and Professor Wang assigned me to come to this to see what it's about. And I actually attended one of these earlier on. I don't know if you remember me, but
I do remember, Beverly. Yes, you asked some really, really good questions.
yeah, so I'm back again. And I'll probably be, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm presenting in Kirka soon, I guess. So
Yeah.
I just hope it goes well.
It will. We're really excited about that. So, is anybody else on here that's presenting at Kirka this fall? I'm losing track of time. Fall, yeah. Well, Beverly, thank you, and we're really looking forward to showcasing student work for sure. And then last, I have you as Zach, and I don't know if that's Zach is your name or.
Oh yeah, it's just Zach. It's my last initial. I don't know why it shows up. I'm a sophomore in the movement science department with a sports med concentration and a business management minor.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, well, Jennifer, it's all yours. I'm gonna let you take it away. And yeah, we're looking forward to this. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for having me. Very happy to be here and happy to see some familiar faces and some new ones too. So hopefully I'll give you a nice overview of the Career Center, and then we can talk in more detail about internships, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I've learned over the last few months from participating in webinars and dealing with COVID, employers, students, the whole bit. So my name is Jen Novecki, and I'm a career counselor here on campus over at the Career Center. And it's great to hear that some of you are already taking advantage of our resources that we provide. So for those of you that haven't been to the Career Center before, we are located on campus in Lammers Hall. So if you're looking at Lammers, we're on the left side of the building, and we share office space with the Counseling Center. As of right now, all of our appointments are over the phone or via Zoom. And we were starting to take some more in-person appointments, but that has stopped for right now. So the easiest way to schedule an appointment with us is to call us or email us at careers@westfield.ma.edu, and I'll put all of our contact information in the chat, so you'll have all of that. So we are open. We take appointments starting at 9 a.m. And our last appointment is at 4. We try and keep our appointments to under an hour. You know, we're not trying to keep you there all that long. And we try and cover one topic for each appointment. So something that I like to recommend is starting with your resume. So coming in, let's take a look at what you've done so far. I don't know what year you all are, but it's a great place to start no matter what, because we can look at what you've done, and then we can work on some things for you to do in the future. Because usually by junior year, high school stuff falls off the resume. So we're gonna work to see what else can we add, what have you done, what coursework, what are those upper level courses that we can add to the resume. And kind of go from there, and then go into internships and all of that good stuff. So I do want to share my screen, and I will pop up the, give me 1 second here. Have a lot of, okay. Can you all see the Career Center page? Okay, great. So this is our website, and I'll link everything again, like I said, in the chat. I like to use the website as my guide because we put a lot of information on our site, and we're constantly updating it. So you'll see over here, we have for employers, Handshake, which is our job and internship and event database. So you'll all have access to that through My Westfield, and that is something that we can go into as well. And then this section down here is a lot of what we see students for. So not only are we meeting with students and taking those appointments, but we're also putting on a number of different events throughout the year. So obviously with COVID, things are a little different and we've gone virtual, but we're still, we're just shifting gears and we're working hard to still bring you those opportunities virtually. So we've had 3 virtual career fairs back in October. We had a business communication and technology fair. We had a government and criminal justice fair. And then we also had a human services fair. And all of that information can be found in 2 places. So you'll see it on our website and you'll also see it in Handshake as well. So I'll just show you this. And then just a number of different resources. Something that I do want to highlight is our career spot videos. So these are strategically placed throughout the website. And if you open them up, they're short, sweet, to the point, and they're up-to-date videos of specific topics. So virtual career fairs, how to network virtually. So you're not watching a video from the 80s. Nobody wants that. And then we also put in some additional virtual job fairs and information sessions. Employers are adapting. They're shifting gears as well. Some are doing it, some have been doing it. And then some are just learning how to jump on this Zoom and virtual and networking on the internet. So professional networking nights. So in addition to the career fairs, we also host networking nights. And these events are great when we go back to in-person. They are set up like speed dating. So you come in, you meet with the employer, you hear a little bit about how they got to be where they are. Bell rings after 8 to 10 minutes, and then you go to meet with the next employer. So a lot of times these employers that we're bringing are alums, which is great. And yeah, it's just a nice informal event that students love to take advantage of. You don't even have to talk if you don't want to. You can just listen to the information. But it's great to start making those connections. And that's something that we really talk about, and I'll probably focus a lot on in this presentation, is networking. How many people are familiar with the term networking? Quite a few. Yep, I can see some head shaking. Yes, great. Yeah, so networking is so important. It's a lot of times how you get that internship or get that job. It's about the people that you know and those people that are in your network. So hopefully you've started taking advantage of building your network while you're here at Westfield. You came to Westfield with your own connections. People you've met along the way, family friends, those are people in your network. And now at Westfield, you can start taking advantage of professors, everybody on campus. We've got Lamise, we've got Tom, everybody in the Career Center, we all come with our own network. And we're more than happy to share that network with you if it helps you get a position. So just something to keep in mind. And then we'll continue on. I don't want to go too much into the website, but I do just want to give you a nice overview. And then this section here, career exploration. So a lot of you know exactly what you want to do after graduation, and that's great. Some of you don't, and that's fine. It's really hard to know what you want to do. So this section here, there's a lot of great resources. I definitely recommend looking into the So Can You assessment. And I'll show you this. So it's 20 to 25 minutes, and based on how you respond, you'll get different occupations. One of the reasons why I love this resource is it gives you a lot of information. So you can really explore and look at, okay, what does a career counselor do? What is the work environment like? And so on and so forth. So that's something that I would recommend. My other favorite resource, and I wish I had this when I went here, I'm an alum as well, is what can I do with this major? So let's see if I can just pull this up. And it opens up to, can you see the majors here listed? Okay, great. So some we don't even offer here. But what I love about this resource is how organized it is. I'm a very visual person. I like to see things. And when I meet with students, I recommend looking at this site and going through this list and highlighting things that stand out to you, maybe crossing off things that don't. So the way that it breaks down is, okay, let's talk about business. You know, business, communication, these majors are very broad. So when we go to do an internship or a job search, we might not just be typing in business into that search bar, right? We want to be a little bit more specific. So this site breaks it down by the area, who the employers are, and then different information, you know, what are those strategies on how I can get there? So you've got management, maybe you're interested in sales, maybe you've already been doing sales and you want to continue, insurance, banking, maybe some of you are working part-time at a local branch, real estate, resources. So this is a long list because business is pretty broad. So you'll see a lot of crossover in the different majors if you were to go back. And then some general information. So I know it's information overload, but again, if you're trying to narrow down your search, this is extremely helpful. But wait, there's more. So on the bottom of this site, it's going to give you a lot more information. For right now, I would say let's just take a look at these two here, the professional associations and then the occupational outlook information. So just quickly, the professional associations are things that you can look into down the road. So now you've honed in, okay, this is what I want to do. Amanda, right? You had said OT, that's where you're leaning?
Yes.
Okay, there's a professional association for occupational therapists. So maybe just getting familiar with that site. And if you become a member, I know certain associations will offer student discounts. Sometimes, you know, it might be like $40 for a lifetime membership. Sometimes student memberships are free. So if you can take advantage of that. The benefit of the professional association is that it's something that you can put on your resume. So we talk about resume building and the importance of kind of beefing that up so that you're more marketable to an employer. But also you're going to get notifications from that association, notifications on job postings, different opportunities. Maybe it's a local conference that's going on. A lot of times they do annual conferences. Maybe, you know, a lot of times now with COVID, they're going to be doing some virtual events. So you can jump on those. And all of those things can go on your resume. So not only does the professional association go on there, but if you attend a conference, that's something that can go on the resume. If you start participating in different webinars, now that's also going on your resume under professional development. And what it does is it's going to show that employer that you're that much more dedicated to the field. You're joining memberships, you're taking advantage of these opportunities. I know you're serious about this, so I'm looking at you over somebody that's not doing anything. And then occupational outlook information. So, okay, maybe you want to go into HR. If we open this up, this information is also very similar to what So Can You is going to give you, and the breakdown is very similar. So if you see here, you've got the summary, what it is they actually do, what the work environment is like. This is very important. So start thinking about what types of environments interest you. Are you somebody that really do you want to travel when you go to work? Are you okay sitting in a cubicle, office setting, whatever that might look like? And then how to become one. So let's talk about the education, and then some very important licenses, certifications. You've got SHRM, you've got to be familiar with them, and you've got to stay up to date on your certifications. Everyone's favorite, what the pay is like. But just as important, what is the job outlook like? When you leave Westfield and you start searching for jobs, is this job expected to grow? So you can see this is pretty up to date here, 2019 to 2029. And we see the percentages here. Some state and area data I won't go too much into, but then what are some similar occupations? So you could really spend a lot of time here clicking on the different links, going into the different occupations. And then this helps you also with your job search. So now you know, okay, I'm not just typing in business into that search bar. I'm going to be looking much more specific. And you can see the list here. Any questions on career exploration? All right, I will keep going. All right, and then, so now you've submitted your resume and your cover letter because we've helped you get those looking good. And now you get called in for the interview. How many people are panicking because they hate interviewing? How many people like to interview? Maybe Tom Howard does, but I don't know. It's scary. It's fear of the unknown. What is that? What are they going to ask me? I don't know. How can I best prepare for that interview? So we're here to help you with that. Just go over this quickly. Interview prep. The biggest thing for interviewing is being prepared. So you never want to sound rehearsed. You don't want to sound like a robot. You don't want to be reading off of a paper, but you want to know yourself and you want to know the position that you're applying for. And you want to try and match yourself up to that position as best as possible. So through here, we have our interviewing guide, which is great. It's so detailed. I highly recommend looking at this. It's, you know, there's a lot to interviewing. It's very much a process. There are certain things that you need to do before, during the actual interview, and then things that you need to do after. So the guide is a really nice breakdown of all of those things. And then we offer mock interviewing. So take advantage of that because there's no limit to how many times you can come to the Career Center. There's no limit to how many times you can mock interview with us. So we can help you practice. We can run through some common interview questions. We can stop after each question and give you feedback on how you did. And then we can meet again and we can, you know, run through without stopping as if it were the actual interview. You can interview with different people in our office too. You know, so again, Amanda, I'm just picking on you again because I see you there. You know, if we meet, we work on your resume, cover letter. Now we're talking about job search, internship search, and you get called in for that interview. I may set you up with somebody else in our office to kind of get your nerves up and get you prepared for that feeling of going into the interview. So that's a great resource that students take advantage of, and it certainly helps. All you can do is be prepared. Post-grad report. So if you were interested in seeing where students are, this is a really nice report that opens up. Oops, nope, not that one. Okay. Just to show you. Some nice infographics. 86% are working full-time or in grad school. What are they doing? When did they obtain their employment? So something that you can look at too. The salaries piece is always interesting as well. All right. Any questions so far?
No.
Anybody? Thought I heard something.
I did want to, you know, just what you said, Jennifer, about, you know, building their resumes during COVID. I think everybody thinks, well, we're remote and therefore nothing is happening. And I don't think that's true. I think that there's a lot that there are different ways that students can participate, and it's just about being more flexible and adaptable from our original idea of how that happens. But I just wanted to let students know, like, some of you come to these lunch and learns, and that's part of your professional development that you can include in your resume. So there are ways of leveraging things that are, you know, you're getting credit for through your department for attending, but you're networking and you're putting this on your resume, as Jennifer had indicated. And I couldn't agree with you more that I think the sooner that you start a resume, the better off you are, and just watching it evolve and grow from year to year to year to see where the gaps are, where you want to be. And then having a resource like the Career Center to give you a really critical eye about what you look like to an employer is just, I mean, they're a fantastic resource. So I'm always so excited to collaborate with them.
Yeah, thank you. And so for resume building, you know, in my previous position, I was responsible for reviewing a lot of applications, resumes that were coming through. And I remember having a yes pile a no pile, and a maybe pile. And I was looking for reasons to put you in the no pile, because if you didn't take the time to make sure that everything was perfect, I couldn't take that time because I didn't have it. You know, I had so many to review. I'm just kind of going through, and then, okay, from my yes pile, perfect. Let me set that aside. And then let me go back to the maybes and say, okay, do I maybe want to move this person into the yes pile? So that's why it's great to have another set of eyes. Look at the resume, and build it in a way that's going to make you the most marketable candidate, because you're not just going up against other Westfield students, you're going up against a lot more. So you've really got to stand out. The other thing I want to mention about internships, and I'm always so surprised as to how many students aren't aware of this. So hoping to just share this, and then you can share it with your inner circle as well. So with internships, there's two different options you have. If you're looking to get credit for an internship, the internship has to get approved by the internship coordinator for your major. Okay, so that's for credit. And then if you want to do an internship and not get credit, that's great too. It's still experience, and it's still going on your resume in the same place. So both are good. You know, any internship is great. If you can do more than one, that's wonderful. But I always just like to say that because I know some of you are going to be looking for credit. So just make sure you're meeting up with that internship coordinator for your major, and completing the paperwork that's necessary. Any questions on that? Okay. And a lot of times you can just go right on the website and search for your department, and then that internship coordinator should be listed. If it's not, you can always reach out to the chair of the department.
And can I just ask you, Jennifer, how do you feel like in terms of internships, how do you feel that businesses are adjusting to COVID and still providing internship opportunities for students? And how do students, you know, kind of, how do they adjust to that level of change too?
Yeah, so certain employers have been on the ball from the beginning, even before COVID. They've been doing all of these virtual events just because they're, you know, usually it's a larger company, so they've been doing this all along. So really no adjustment for them. Some other companies we've seen, it's a little bit of a struggle. You know, even higher ed, it's been a little bit of an adjustment for all of us to jump on this Zoom and virtual. So, but they are adjusting. And I will say, just from our career fair numbers and in hosting the virtual career fairs that we had 17 for our business fair. We had 27 for our government and criminal justice fair, and then we had 37 for human services. And what was great about the virtual fairs is that you had the opportunity to either select a one-on-one session with that employer or join a group session. So if there are any employers that, if you're going on Handshake and you're looking at our previous events, if there's any employers that you want to connect with, please let me know, and I can connect you with them. And because they were hiring for internships, they were hiring for jobs. We had a student that actually had a good problem. She had 2 internships that they both companies wanted her for that internship. So good problem to have, and that's what you want. That's what you want. So employers are adjusting, definitely, just like we've shifted our gears in the Career Center. So it's been a struggle, but we're, you know, and things are changing day by day. So I'm still participating in a lot of webinars with both employers and students, hearing about the challenges, and new information is coming out every single day. The other thing that I would say is that your job search, you have to be really motivated, and jobs, internships, whatever it might be, you have to stay on top of your search. So that might mean increasing your search, you know, whereas before you might hop on, you know, once a week or every other week and do a quick search. You need to do a little bit more than that. because you want to see what opportunities are coming up. So while employers are adjusting with remote and figuring out what does a remote internship look like, more and more of them are popping up. So traditionally, the timeline for applying for internships is anywhere from 3 to 4 months before you want to do the internship. So if you want to do, a spring internship, late fall is when you would start looking. And obviously it varies for industry, but now with COVID, it's very different. So internships are popping up, at different times. And so I would just say, keep up with your search. And the other thing that I would suggest is stay organized. So as you're going through and you're finding internships that you want to apply for, I have a little spreadsheet that I can share with you guys too. It's just listing out the name of the employer, maybe the contact information if it's available, what's the website, when was the job posted. So that's another thing too. So when you're going through your search, if you see something that was posted 30 plus days ago, you can still maybe apply, but be careful, because I would hate for you to create a resume and a cover letter and then go to submit your application and the job posting's gone. So you can filter your search by searching, okay, maybe what was posted in the last 7 days. And I believe Indeed has this feature, LinkedIn, you'll have the ability to filter. So that's important. And then,
Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
Could you just repeat what the spreadsheet should have? Because I think that's a really good idea. And I've tried to not create my own spreadsheet, but that's a really good and organized way to do it. But I've just wrote down which things I've applied to, but could you just repeat what should be on it?
Yeah, let me, I can share it with you as well, but I know it's just name of the position, the name of the company website, the contact information, if it's available. So also just for the contact info, for your cover letter, you should always try and address it to a specific person. A lot of times that information isn't readily available. So what we can do is maybe search on the company website, or we can search on LinkedIn to try and find somebody to address it to. For example, if you look at human resources in LinkedIn for Mass Mutual, you're going to get a lot of people. There's a lot of people in that department. So if you try and find somebody, that's maybe a top level, that's okay. It might not be the right person, but what it does is it shows that you took the time to search. And hopefully that person will then pass it off to the person that it belongs to.
Right, okay.
The other information for the spreadsheet would be the date that it was posted and the date that you applied, because that's also going to tell you when you need to follow up.
Jen,
Following up is very important.
Jen?
Yes.
What would you think about them going to LinkedIn, seeing that Westfield State has 27,935 followers, and find somebody that graduated Westfield State? Now, you said Mass Mutual.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of Westfield State grads working there, as they're the biggest employer in this part of the state, and tell them how they connect with them, and now they have an inside to the company.
Absolutely. So Tom, that's great. That's going to segue me into LinkedIn, because it's one of my favorite features. So thank you so much for bringing that up. So I'm going to share my screen again, hopefully.
So I was going to say too, for the students on the call or whoever's on the call, I can share your email. If it's okay, I'll share your email with Jennifer. And then that way, maybe Jennifer, if you don't mind, just sending them a spreadsheet or whatever you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'll send you guys a ton of information. You're going to be sick of hearing from me.
So before we end the call, don't just get off, because some of you, I don't have your full name and I need it. So.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if we can jump onto my LinkedIn. So let me see here what's going on. Okay, can everybody see my LinkedIn page? Okay, great. So if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a professional networking site. So I compare it to Facebook, and I call it the Facebook for professionals. So it's this great site that you have the ability to I mentioned all of your connections. So all of your connections are going to go on this site. People that you've met so far, professors, you can search for us in the Career Center. And it's also your professional online presence. As you go out into the field, I guarantee you that somebody's going to search for you on LinkedIn to see if you have that professional presence. So you want to make sure that that presence is matching up with what you've submitted on your resume. So just quickly before I go into the alum search, I'll show you what a profile looks like. And what's great about LinkedIn is that you're not restricted to one page. With your Word document of your resume, you only have one page. And so LinkedIn, you can keep scrolling, you can keep things on your LinkedIn profile that maybe have fallen off your resume. For example, for a lot of you, as you get that internship, coursework will fall off the resume. But with LinkedIn, you can keep the internship and coursework and special projects. So there's a lot of information here. And then you can also give and receive recommendations. And then you can start to follow the companies that you're interested in. So I'm happy to meet with anybody that wants to learn more about LinkedIn. We can meet via Zoom and we can go over your existing profile, or I can help you create one. But showing you my favorite resource is pulling up Westfield State. And following the school. I have direct access to, visit the website. And then in this button here, alumni. Yeah. So over 25,000 alums have listed Westfield State as their school. And this is a breakdown of where they live, where they work, and then this tab, sorry, I can't easily navigate, what they do, what they studied, what are they skilled at, and then how are you connected. So this is a great tool for looking for internships, looking for jobs. The other really great thing that you can start doing is informational interviews. So reaching out to somebody and just asking them for their time, a quick chat. Do you have a little bit of time so I could learn a little bit about your position at Mass Mutual? I'm going to use as an example again. And a lot of times they're more than happy to help. I would say that's the case. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
Yes, very much so. And on that note, also, if you're looking to work in Massachusetts, it's easier to find a job having alums help you because we have about 42,000 alums from Westfield State. 78% of them still live in the state. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of alums living here that you connect with.
Yeah, and before I forget, actually just this morning, I won't share names, but we had an internship come through our email, and the contact was an alum. And I have been working with a student that I thought would be a perfect fit for this internship. But what the internship described, it looked like they were looking for more of a graduate internship, which is a little unusual. We don't see too much of that. But I said, you know what? I want to reach out anyways. I want to see if I can promote this student to our alum. And that's what I did. So I connected with the alum. I asked my question. I expressed that I had been working with a student that would be absolutely fantastic for this role. And she said, you know what, Jen, I just reviewed her LinkedIn profile. She looks like she's an all-star. Let me touch base with HR and then I'll get back to you. Today, she responded to me and said, we just closed the application. We just closed the internship position and I'd like to interview your student. So I was so excited. So a lot of times that's how it happens. Just the connections that you make. Lamise, I do just have to run right for a quick moment. I will be right back.
Student. Sorry, I wanted to say a couple of things to you guys while Jennifer kind of heads over there. And Tom, I don't know you well, but it sounds like you and I might be on the same wavelength in terms of helping students understand how important applied experiences are. It's important that you go to class and that you do well, but you're competing with so many students for maybe a single position or two positions, or whether you're going to grad school or, medical school or just internships. These applied experiences they set you apart because they indicate to that future employer or future grad school or professional school that, number one, you have explored the interest, the field of interest that you want to go into, that you're dedicated and committed, that you understand what you're getting into, that you are able to function professionally in that setting, that you know how to work as a team, that you know how to take a project and be able to communicate it with others. And I hosted an internship conversation a couple of years ago with our local organizations, because one of the things that I try to do through KERCA is work with the alum office and work with, the Career Center, so that these employers around us get to know us a little bit better. And when we come to the table and talk about what are they looking for in students, one of the things that they say right off the bat is we want them to be vetted, meaning that they want to have that personal connection with Westfield and with the staff and faculty that work at Westfield. And because they know that if we present a student to them, we've already done the work of making sure that that student is qualified, highly qualified, would be a really good fit, would be a professional. And that for them, that's really important. So having this networking with alums and having networking within individuals within the college, like staff and faculty, is really important to you, because like Jennifer said, you never know when things come across your desk and you're like, I know who I could recommend for this. And most employers want to hire their interns because you're already trained. I mean, why wouldn't they want to hire you, kind of thing, if you work out? I don't know. Tom, I don't know how you feel about that too.
Perfect example of hiring interns, the Westfield Boys and Girls Club. They probably have right now 8 full-time employees working there that started as interns from Westfield State. They get to see you on the job, and it's not like you can fool somebody going 20 hours a week for 16 weeks. They're going to see the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. And the other part about alumni is, if I see a job and I know it's good for somebody, or if they've asked me to do a letter of recommendation, when I call somebody and speak to them, they know me personally. They know I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to send them anybody that is horrible. I'm only going to send them somebody that fits the position and that I would bank my name on completely. And that really helps. So I would get on LinkedIn, and I don't care what professor, what it is, whether you like the person, don't like the person, link in with them. You never know where that person may be the one connection you have. And, that'll really help. And another thing that I would suggest is knowing Erica Burton very well. Under her name, when she sends stuff out as a school person, she puts the different clubs and honor societies and stuff that she's on. You never know what is going to mean something to somebody. And I'll just use one example. You may think that you put that you're a blood donor every 8 weeks down's not a big deal. The person interviewing you may have had a child that was sick and needed blood. All of a sudden, they're going to see that. They're going to read your resume a little closer than somebody else that doesn't have it. So you never know what little thing can help you.
Mhm. And I also want to say that, you know, one of the things that I'm trying to do through Kirka, and the Career Center and I have spoken about this in the past with Junior, is using it as a reverse career fair, meaning that, you know, we let local companies and organizations and colleges know that we're having a Kirka celebration, which is usually in person, and then inviting them to come and see you in action. So when you present at Kirka, you may think that, oh, I'm just doing this for a class, or oh, I'm doing this because I have to, but you never know where that's going to lead you. And I think Tom Howard, who's on this call, can talk to you more about that. And but just know that we are working together for you, and networking and LinkedIn. So now we're going to do the Kirka celebration virtually through a website. We're designing a website and hopefully giving you your own page. We're hoping that you'll use that as part of your LinkedIn, and we're hoping that you'll use that to put in your resume, and that you forward on to employers who might be interested in interviewing you, so they can see what you're doing before you even get there. But Jen, I don't want to take over. Tom and I were trying to cover.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you jumping in there while we get situated here. So I'll jump back to sharing my screen just to finish with the the LinkedIn. Sorry, let me go back here. So just going back to the search of, you know, trying to find people. We search Springfield. It drops it down to over 7,000. So a little bit more manageable than searching, you know, 25,000 alums that are listed on LinkedIn right now. And then we see Mass Mutual. I'm just going to keep this as my example. And now we see 217. So, which is great, because now as you scroll to the very bottom, it's going to give you names, positions, sometimes the year that they graduated from Westfield. And now I can make, you know, I can search for that person I'm looking for in that either department, or if I'm looking specifically for somebody in human resources or talent acquisition, sometimes it's called. Okay. And so I've got my cover letter, and I'm going to make a decision on who to send that cover letter to. It might not be an alum, so you can jump back and you can go to the Mass Mutual page and do a human resources search and maybe make a decision that way. But for informational interviewing, this would be a great tool to search. Does everybody think that's helpful? And informational interviews can be done no matter what year you are. You know, if you first year, second year, you want to start collecting as much information as you can about a specific career path, informational interviews are great. It's going to give you a lot of insight into that role, into that company, and who knows where it can lead. You know, I've had a couple of different students that have gotten their internship because they reached out for an informational interview. The employer was very impressed, and they said, wow, you know, this student is very professional. They're conducting themselves. They're motivated. So we're going to make it happen. We're going to create an internship, or we're going to want that person for the internship when it pops up. So, yeah. The other way you can go about searching is just looking for a specific company. So somebody shout out a company for me. Anybody?
Google.
What is it, Tom?
Google.
Google. All right. So I really want to work at Google, and I'm going to go ahead and follow them, which I think I already am. Yes, I am. And look at this. 8 people from your school were hired here. Awesome. So this is another way that you can see where alums are working. Search for that specific company you want to target, and then look to see if we have any alums here. So if I click on this, I can see who those people are. Tom, do you know any of these people? I'm not sure I recognize any names.
There's one, I won't say a name, kind of high up that our department has reached out to a couple of times to tie in with other people. We do have a couple of people in companies like Google that
Yeah.
we found out by mistake that they're, up there, and you're like, wow, okay. So then obviously we try to connect, send a note and everything.
Yeah. It's very helpful. So, some of you might be thinking, oh, well, this is great, and I can search for these people, but I'm a little hesitant. I'm maybe a little nervous. I'm a little scared to reach out. Don't be. Come to us, and we can help you craft up a little message to send to these people. Because I know that professional communication takes time. It's something that you need to kind of build up, and you want to make sure that you get it right. And so we can help you with that.
Jen, one note on the first name, Tyler Schmidt.
Yeah.
I would think that a lot of the people on this call right now are current students, know Scotty Howe. So
Yes.
if they're afraid to reach out to Tyler, reach out to Scotty, who will talk to anybody. He's a great guy. Ask him, how do you know Tyler? Can you have Tyler call me, or can you get me Tyler's private email? I'd like to send him a message. That's a way to do it too.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so as you start to add your connections, so when you think about connections, think of them as friends. I'm going to go back to the Facebook reference, but your connections are your friends. And then your second connections, so these are all the people that I share in common with Tyler Schmidt. So we've got some mutual friends there. And then, the friends of friends, and that's how the networking happens here on LinkedIn. So it's through connections. So yeah, I definitely encourage you all to make an account, and then we can work together to make sure that your account is up to date and looking good for employers.
Jen, one other note, suggest too, when they ask somebody to link in with them, don't just click in, link in, add at least a sentence, say, hi, I would like to link in with you. I'm a Westfield State student. Just add at least one sentence to make it more personable.
Yeah, so let me see if I can give you an example of what that would look like. We'll go back to the Westfield page, alumni. I'll just search for somebody that I'm not connected with. All right, Jill. So I can hit connect, and then I have the option to send a note. And I have 300 characters just to introduce myself and tell her why I would like to connect with her. And we can help you craft that message as well. Any questions? It's a lot of information, but hopefully it's helpful.
Jen, if I can add something else, we
Yeah.
were talking earlier, and we were using Tommy Howard as an example. With the Kirker presentations, a lot, they're done on campus. Everybody from the school comes. If you get a chance to do one at like a gala that Lisa McMahon in our office puts on, Tommy Howard did one of his history ones, and he was right 15 feet inside of the door on the right in University Hall. And the amount of people, and I would say famous or well-off people that came up and saw his presentation, you don't normally get that on a regular school day. Now, he had CEOs, he had state senators, he had House of Representatives. He had a lot of people come up that normally he would not have got to see. So if you're offered that opportunity, don't say, oh, I don't want to do that. It's a Friday night or a Saturday or whatever. Do it. That may be your best opportunity. You don't have to leave campus. And Tommy can tell you how many people he ran into. And I think it's a great, great tool.
Yeah, I agree. And I got to say, Tom's last Kirka presentation, actually, I wrote to Senator Eric to tell him about Tom's project, because it tied in so well with the West East Rail project. And the senator reached right back out and wanted to meet Tom and talk to him. And unfortunately, COVID hit. But these little presentations, like you said, they lead to invitations like the presentation that you talked about, or any of them. And it's a fantastic opportunity. So
I just wanted to talk. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about my own internship perspective, trying to get one, because I know a lot of people here were looking for internships. I had two majors when I was an undergrad at Westfield, my history degree and my political science degree. And my history degree, I was looking into having an internship for summer of my sophomore year. And it was very different from my poli-sci internship, just in terms of personal networking. Like the history department had an internship coordinator that Jennifer mentioned, and I approached her and we got the paperwork all set. I wanted it to be credited over the summer. So since, getting credits for the school year, it's different from in the summer, because your normal tuition will pay for you to get the credits for class, but summer is different because you're not paying that tuition. So there was a internship initiative that was happening with an SUI grant. And I was able to have that, which paid for my internship, which was 3 credits. And also it paid a little bit extra for me to sort of work around it. And that was a pretty, beginning, thinking that, this is going to be how it is, approach the internship coordinator. Political science did not have an internship coordinator. And I approached the chair around February trying to get an internship for summer. And it was a lot of personal networking for me personally. I approached Giselle in the Career Center, who was amazing. And she gave me a long list of representatives, nonprofits, like Clean Water in Northampton, and just, said like, hey, you reach out to all these people. I went through Handshake, I did everything. And even with that, it's difficult because it goes through different people, and, representatives have their legislative aides. And it was really like up until the last second, like about to start summer 2, where I finally was able to have an interview, sit down, talk to someone, manage the billing. I was able to, since I couldn't access the same grant that I did last year, there was a different initiative that was being run, and was really, up until the last second, it was a lot of, personal managing on my part. So there can be different experiences, but don't get discouraged. It'll work itself out. And if anything, it's better for your personal networking skills, using LinkedIn, using email. Definitely it proves something to your potential internship employers that you can go out and secure yourself.
So before I forget, if you still have questions, please ask them. But for the students, just please put your full name. If your full name doesn't show up, please put it in the chat before you go, so I can get you information. But, yeah.
I'm showing Lamise, that the chat is disabled.
Oh,
I don't know if other people are having that issue.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't show on mine.
Oh, hold on a second. Let's try that.
Perfect.
Yeah? Okay. And again, if I don't have your full name, please add it so I can make sure to give Jennifer your emails and your department's your information. And I thank you so much for coming today. And Jennifer, all of this information was just awesome. Really, really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And both Toms, thank you for your contributions as well.
And Jen, I want to say, let them know, obviously, that once you graduate, you get a job and you don't like it 2-3 years, or even like me, you come back to the Career Center at 62, 63, have them help you do their resume. It's free for alumni. They'll take care of you forever. And before I came back to work here, I came in and I saw Giselle, and she helped tighten up my LinkedIn. It was a little old, to say the least, and the resume. So they're there forever and for free.
Yes. Yeah. So all of our services are free. And then, as Tom mentioned, even after you graduate, if you have questions, anything, please don't hesitate to contact us.
All right. Well, with all of that, again, thank you all so much. And again, reach out to any of us if you have any questions. We're always happy to help. And we hope you have a good rest of the semester too. And check us out for the Kirka celebration. Maybe you don't do it this year, but you can see what other students are doing, and hopefully that'll get you, excited or interested in pursuing it in the spring. So there's always that option. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.